is an empress. About to begin. Giving love to all the ancestors that's singing. Here comes the tears. Some more are throwing out till the all that. Talk, 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 talk. Watch it talk. Blackfoot. I've been out seven on the smoky. You know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home that I talk. Shit, I got to take this all. Talk, watch it talk. Blackfoot. I've been out seven on the smoky. You know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home. Whistle like an eagle, I'm like a stinging bee. Ancestors is right in front of me. I'm more than 50 inside me. Got it this birth, she work, ain't it? Make her greatness. Wow, natural style. Rain dancer under the moon. Knock through the pearly gates. Gate from Spain to Panama. We still ahead of y'all. Never racing, slow pacing to the top of the dome. We stand tall, y'all. Never lazy. Walk, clap, 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 clap. All the mom talking shit is hot. Never stop. A little petite, but never retreat. 10K, it's dog on tall, y'all. Chopper riding, we awake, very deep dreaming. DT beaming, blood shot, lightsaber walker, wolf talker, never stop. Oh man, I talk shit, I got a nigga song, chalk talk, watch it talk, Blackfoot. I've been knocking seven on the smoky, you know me, the whole thing is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home, man. I talk shit, I got a nigga song, chalk talk, Blackfoot. I've been knocking seven on the smoky, you know me, the whole thing is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home. Chop in the Fire City block, big Buffalo people coming back to wreck shop. Hip hop about it pop, can't stop the rebirth from raw into the rock rip, into the jam. Price war dance, at a glance. Anyone who plans, check a war dance. You seven feather owl, the Mortgage Cola power. Make all these 14th Amendment rappers throw in the towel. Where competent travel, places taking oaths, disrespecting ancestors, selling their souls to go raise my glass, make a toast. Aboriginal host, traveling through the cosmos. That's most, meaning that's on top. My wounded knee bandaged up. Black Hawk, what's up? What's most go? We taking it from the tomb of the bones when we coming in the rooms and they feel like, oh man, I talk shit, I got shit, a song, chop talk, watch it talk, Blackfoot. I've been knocking seven on the smoky, you know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home, man. I talk shit, I got shit, a song, chop talk, watch it talk, Blackfoot. I've been knocking seven on the smoky, you know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home. The heavens let the sunshine in. This bitch is an empress. About to begin. Giving love to all the ancestors that tuning in. Here comes the kids with some more offering.
Peace, 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 peace. It's the time to this one. And you guys, you see the title. This is basically part two of what I was doing yesterday, dealing with the American Colonization Society, and just showing you irrefutable proof that we are indigenous to the landmass of North, South, Central, and the adjoining islands of the Americas. Okay. Now, what I will do in this one is I will show you, because a lot of us always quick to reference Marcus Messiah Garvey, right? Marcus Garvey was a motherfucking agent. And now I see anybody who promoting that go back to Africa that's funded by the ACS. The ACS is a damn agent, okay? So let's get right into this, all right? Because I got a lot of stuff I need to go through. All right, so I'm gonna go right into this. All right, so many of you guys already know Marcus Garvey is, but I'm gonna touch on a brief bio of his before I really get into everything. Okay, my computer's kind of running slow. Let me reload this. I don't know why some of these articles be taking so long. With me, peoples. All right, this is Marcus Garvey. All right. Now I say, who was Marcus Garvey? Say, born in Jamaica, Marcus Garvey was an orator for the Black nationalism and Pan African movement. They say to which he founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Community League, right? Garvey advanced a Pan African philosophy which inspired a global mass movement known as Garveyism. Garveyism would eventually inspire others from the Nation of Islam and the Rastafarian movement. All right. Now, let's go on a little bit more. Uh, sounds right. When we see who the guys connected to, white supremacist Walter Plecker. And we already pretty much went through a lot of this stuff, but let's go through some more. Say Marcus Garvey, say found in United Negro Improvement Association. All right, the UNIA. All right, so Marcus Garvey returned to Jamaica in 1912 and founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association. The fuck is this? My bad, y'all. I hate when this shit does that, man. My bad, y'all. Oh, what the fuck? I swear they do this shit on purpose. Hold up for a second. Let me deal with this shit. Sorry about that, y'all. Alright, my bad. We had some technical problems, man. This shit had a mind of its own. Shit was in a little video while I was actually reading. So let me get back to what we sorry about that, y'all. Alright, alright, here. So it says Marcus Garvey returned to Jamaica in 1912 and founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association with the goal of uniting all Africans diaspora to establish a country and absolute government. They say of their own. They say after corresponding with Booker T. Washington, the American um, educator, say who founded Tuskegee Institute. Say Garvey traveled to the United States in 1916 to raise funds for a similar venture in Jamaica. He settled in New York and formed a chapter in Harlem to promote the separate, say, philosophy of social, political, and economical freedom for blacks. In 1918, Garvey published being published, the widely distributed newspaper, the Negro World, to convey his message. All right. So look, let me see something. Let's go down right here. We know Black Starliner. They say by 1919, Marcus Garvey and UNIA had launched the Black Star Line. It's a ship company that would establish trades and commerce between Africa and America and the Caribbean, South and Central America. Say Canada and Africa at the same time. Garvey started the Negro Factories Association, a series of companies that would manufacture remarkable commodities in every big industry center in the Western Hemisphere in Africa. All right, now let's read a little bit more. In August 1920, the UNIA claimed 4 million members and held the first international convention at Madison Square Garden in New York City before a crowd of 25,000 people from all over the world. Marcus Garvey spoke of having pride of African history and culture. Say many found his words inspiring, but not all. Some established black leaders found his separatist philosophy ill conceived. W.B. Du Bois, a prominent black leader and officer of the NAACP, in the NWACP, called Garvey the most dangerous enemy of the Negro race in America. Now he had some stands with that, the Negro race in America. I'm gonna find out why, right? So it say Garvey felt Du Bois was an agent of white supremacy. All right. So now we know he was under surveillance or whatever, but understand this. When I show you what I'm about to show you, you guys gonna be fucked up. All right. So look, this is all right. So this guy right here. This is Ernest Sever Cox, 1880 to 1966. All right. So it's a let me open up a little bit more. All right, so that's big enough. All right, so it's saying Ernest Sever Cox was a committed white supremacist who advocate on behalf of anti-miscegenation laws, and in 1920 co-founded with a composer John Powell and Anglo-Saxon Club of America. Now remember, the Anglo-Saxon Club is very interesting. Them are the people who basically funded the Racial Integrity Act, which we're going to get to, is say a Richmond-based nationwide organization devoted to maintaining a strict separation of races. In 1923, Cox published White America, a book that described his travels in Africa and argued that race mixing would result in the collapse of white civilization. He also wrote extensively on eugenics, a now discredited scientific movement aimed at promoting the superiority of the white race. Say together with the composer Powell and Virginia State registrars Walter Plecker, Cox played an influential role in lobbying the Virginia General Assembly to pass the Racial Integrity Act of 1924, a strict anti-miscegenation law, and later the Massenburg Bill, which banned racial mixing in all public places. In 1924, Cox formed an unlikely alliance with black nationalist Marcus Garvey, based on their shared belief that the only way to save the races was for African Americans to relocate to Africa. Okay, now all right, it say Cox retired from the real estate business in 1958 and died in Richmond. All right, so let me see something. Let's see some more of his of what him and Garvey was dealing with. All right, Here you go, right here. It say, by the time Cox testified before the General Assembly on behalf of the Racial Integrity Act, he had become a local celebrity with the publication of White American, based entirely on Cox's own travel and observation. White American developed the thesis that white civilization could not survive an influx of non-whites. Cox concluded Cox concluded that whites were faced with two choices: amalgamate, and eventually cease to exist, or separate completely. Although hardly novel at the time, and warning of the danger and of interracial mixing, Cox went a step further than most of his contemporaries. He argued that the effective separation would occur only when Black Americans had been repatriated to Africa. Now, see these jokers who was basically sending Aboriginally Black Indians, which this is your motherfucking land, sending us back to Africa, and they got with this guy Marcus Garvey to basically push this agenda. He retaliated. It say white American. It's essential themes of subsequently books, broadside, including the South part of Mongolizing the nation. Say 1926, Lincoln Negro policy. 1938, 3 million Negroes state to the state of Virginia. 1940, the Teutonic Unity. 1951, unending hate. Supreme Court school decision. It's saying, hold up, let me see. Milestone in the federal program to break the will of the white South. Its dedicated purpose to remain white. In 1955, the Herman Brother, a speech published in the monument of Herman. It say who the Romans called Armunists. 1958. All right. In 19 in September 1924, Cox entered into a unlikely alliance with Marcus Garvey, the Jamaican-born Black nationalist who founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Garvey, Black nationalist, stood in sharp contrast to Cox's racial views, but Garvey nonetheless shared Cox's belief that repatriation of blacks to Africa um, offered only visible solution to the nation's racial issue. For his part, Garvey had concluded that blacks would never receive a fair chance in the United States and thus must leave. Cox wrote an open letter to the UNIA, it's a meeting, and dedicated his booklet, Let My People Go, 1925, to Garvey. The partnership between Cox and Garvey ended in 1927 when federal authorities deported Garvey after his conviction for mail fraud. All right, so let me read a little bit more about this guy. So it say Cox then formed an alliance of the convenience with the peace movement of Ethiopia, a little-known African-American group based in Chicago that advocate federal assistance for repatriation for blacks to Africa. In 1936, he prevailed on the General Assembly to recommend that the federal government provides such funds. Koch and the PME soon joined forces with the Theodore Gilmore, Bilbo, a United States senator, unapologetic racist from Mississippi, who introduced legislation to provide federal funds for repatriation. See, these motherfuckers was trying to pay for us to get out of here, because you know why? They knew as long as we knew we was home, that we was gonna never let them have what they got now or whatever. And eventually, this is the back end of it, is the situation that we in now, because we never, like he said, we never was gonna get a fair opportunity here because of the racism that exists within this country, right? So Bilbo Bill unmistakably bore the influence of white America for nearly a decade. Bilbo reintroduced the bill while Cox urged the senator to temper his language in order to ensure the support of both and white. After Bilbo's death in 1947, Senator William Langer of North Dakota repeatedly sponsored similar legislation. And on at least two occasions, Cox testified before congressional committee as an expert on subject. Langer's death in 1959 signaled the end of the congressional attempt to introduce such legislation. All right, check this out, right? Now, we know that basically Garvey went to school in London. He was educated by a lot of these white supremacists or whatever. But the thing that really spent me through the loop was the fact that he hooked up with this guy. Now, how do you come from Jamaica tell Black Americans that we need to go back to Africa? Like I said, any of that Pan-African movement shit, all that shit was funded by the damn government to get us to go back to Africa. Now, I already read. Let me see something. I got notes right here. So this one, all right. It's this one right here. All right, hold up. Oh, let me make sure. I got a bunch of shit up here, y'all. Just bear with me, y'all. Bear with me, please. Bear with me. It's not that one. Is it this one?
Peace.
All right, there you go. You see, mute your mic for me.
Oh, Lord, peace. Okay.
All right. Let me take this off. Chief, you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Let me just run through this real quick, and we just gonna talk about this. All right. So we got colonization and immigration. All right. Say overview: the migration of African Americans to other lands in search of freedom during the late 1800s and 19th century was an expression of their belief that they would never achieve a position of true equality in the United States. The only solution to the problem, they felt, was to establish separation, self-governed societies, nation. It's a though migration, no, it's a through migration found their ways to Canada, Haiti, and West Africa. It's a was most often the refuge of the choice. Immigration of colonization were controversial within the community, and some of the consequences of these migrations were negative for the receiving population. The reason for immigration and colonization is after African American interest in colonization was in engendered by the dramatic increase of restrictions placed on them during the late 18th and 19th century. The slave system in the South was progressively intensified. The region agriculturally derived economics propriety is a dependent on slavery. 1/3 of its population consisted of African Americans in bondage. Throughout the South, laws was passed that prohibit their manumission. It's a meanwhile rising racism made conditions for Northern blacks more oppressive. The growth of the free black population, 500,000 by 1860, was yet another effort to keep the nation's African Americans on an even tighter leash. They faced voting restrictions and were, for all intents and purpose, excluded from the justice system by 1830s. State and federal regulations, popular pressure, and social customs had dispatched the very bottom. No, it say at the very bottom rung, say of social and economic political leaders. Now I say the immediate aftermath of the Civil War, the Constitution Amendment giving the citizen giving the citizenship and voting right, and led many African Americans to hope they would finally be integrated into American society by the end of Reconstruction in 1870, while white Northerners' interest in the problem of recent freed slaves that cooled, it say the return of the Democratic Party to the power in the South was accompanied by mounting of KKK violence and intimidation. All right, so now you motherfuckers always run around here talk about Democrat. You know, and the funny thing is this, real quick. You got a lot of blacks who speak educated, but you don't know the Democratic Party was started by racist whites in the South. None of these idiots know that, but then they get mad and they worry about. But we getting screwed on both sides. Whether you vote Republican or you vote Democrat, you getting fucked because they two wings of the same bird. All right. And say in the South, African Americans was relegated back to the farms, and with little to no money to buy land, they had no choice but to work as tenant farm sharecroppers on white-owned property as an agricultural labor earned meager wages. By the early 20th century, only 20% of African Americans owned their property and were able to maintain some small degrees of independence. Though people had continuously struggled against bias and oppression, they were always some who believed that the ameliorating their conditions was ultimately impossible. They favored immigration, and some advocates the establishments of the colonies in Africa. All right, let me just touch on a little bit more right here. All right, so it's a colonizing Sierra Leone. The first known colonization effort took place in Sierra Leone, home to the Tim, the Mandingos, Fulani, the Bulan, and saying the Crew people. They said the original settlers, 150 destitute black men and women from England called the Black Poor arrived in 1787 and 1792. They was joined by 1,200 black loyalists from Canada. Now that's the people which some of them included some of the Maroons or whatever the tribe that my man said that they from. But we know them better as the Maroons, or whatever, because they were shipped out after the English took over the West Indies. After they took it from the Spanish, they created treaties with them and crossed them and shipped them out of there. Say former U.S. bondmen who had fought alongside of the British Army during the Revolutionary War who were dissatisfied with the conditions in Nova Scotia. Okay, now look, hold up, bro. It say the Army in the Revolutionary War. That's supposed to be what the fuck is his name, man? I can't think of his name right now. It won't come to me in a minute though. It say who was dissatisfied with conditions in Nova Scotia. It say where they had been sent. Jamaican Maroons, runaways who had been decentrally deported to Canada after they had signed peace treaty with the British followed them in the 1800s. In the early years of the settlement was governed by the Sierra Leone Company, an organization founded by British humanitarians with the goal of developing agriculture. Now, why would you develop agriculture if Africa has all this shit that we always talk about? Why would you have to develop agriculture if the land should already be plentiful with food already? Why should you have to develop? Now, check it out. It's saying other products for trade with England. It say its population rapidly increased after 1807. The Africans recaptured following the British and the American abolition, it say of the transatlantic slave trade. They recaptured or liberated Africans came from throughout West, Central, and Southeastern Africa. About 58,000 were eventually settled in Sierra Leone. All right, now hold up. Let's go a little bit more. It's a African American involvement in Sierra Leone began 1811 when Paul Cuff, it's a prosperous black and American Indian Quaker ship owner, it's a lifetime campaign for black people rights, set sail from Massachusetts for a free town with a crew of 9 African American seamen. It's a their journey came in response to the invitation from England Royal African Society to visit the colony. It's a while there, Cuff decided to develop trade between blacks in England, Sierra Leone, and the United States. Also began to consider the possibility of relocating skilled African Americans to colonies. And founded the Friendly Society of Sierra Leone to put his idea to practice in 1815. He took 38 immigrants to the colony. Among them or the Senegalese, who had migrated from Haiti, and the Congolese. These would be the first migration of African Americans from the United States. So I'm gonna read a little bit more, and then I'm gonna just go back. All right, and we can just talk about this shit. All right, so through Leon, will continue to receive African American immigrants over the years. Their primary destination soon became Liberia. It's a country of Val, Crew, and Kissy. It's a Gribu, Bassa, Campbell, Mandingo, and other populations. The controversy, American Colonization Society helped them in this endeavor. It was founded in 1816 with the express aim of colonize free African Americans in Africa or elsewhere. It saw fit. Or elsewhere where it saw fit. So basically, wherever the fuck they wanted move you at. And like I said, if these Europeans thought that Africa had everything, why the fuck they ain't go to Africa? Why the fuck they came here and try to take our land and then move us out of here? Because like I said, as long as they knew you was going to be here, they knew you was going to bitch because you knew this was your land. So they created all of these Pan-Africans. They created jokers like Garvey. And like I said, maybe Garvey might have had some good intention, but by him hooking up with people trying to get us to go back to Africa or whatever, he was dead wrong for that. Instead of us sitting here going through what we had to go through here, fighting or whatever, these people wanted us to fucking evolve our country where we are from. Now, some people would sit there and say, well, we came from Africa, so we should go back to Africa. We ain't never come from Africa. We was always here. That's the reason why. If these motherfuckers went through all the trouble to bring you here, why would they? And then what you see is what they normally say is a lot of the people they want to send back was free blacks. Now check it out. All right. I read, hold on. All right, so it was founded in 1816 with the express aim to colonize free African Americans in Africa or wherever else saw fit. An organization with mostly white members and supporters, many of whom were slaveholders, and the ACS did not gain widespread support among African Americans who saw it as mean by which white hope to deport free blacks. Now, how the fuck do you get free if you was born here to be a slave? That's a head scratcher right there. You know what I'm saying? How do you get free if you was born here to be a slave? You come in, Chief.
Yeah. Hey man, peace, brother. This is an interesting thing. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing that I have to say on top is, who the hell wrote this? They need to have their ass beat because they're putting African American in terms in places that didn't exist. Number one.
Yeah. Exactly,
so when I see that, I automatically know they have an agenda to also put us off of, put us somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when we're reading these things, that's the first thing we have to know is who's reading it. I mean, who wrote it, what time period they wrote it in, how are they writing, and what agenda are they putting into these certain things, right? So that's the first thing, right? So once I see that these people have agendas, right, I know that they're lying. I know that they have some other things. So it just is red flags for me for everything. And just it's almost damn near the opposite of everything that they say. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Marcus Garvey was right. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, what was in there in that time period or whatever like that, right? But he said the Negro Improvement Association, right? That's number one. He never talked about going back to Africa. Now they was talking about doing business with Africa now, right? Now, were we doing business in with Africa long before the white man came here, y'all? Like, I mean, we're giving them too much. We're giving them trade. We're giving them land. We're giving them math. We're giving them science. We're giving them history. We letting them tell us how we supposed to be. Now, what I don't like is partnering with people who have an agendas. And like I said, when I'm hearing this thing, right, the person that's writing this has an agenda to once again push us into a second class position. Oh, blacks wanted free blacks now. We're getting moved around. First off, you're free. If you're free, then you have choices, right? You have a choice to do certain things. So they tell us that they would have a choice to leave here because it was so bad here, because all these badass white people was there, right? Really? I think these are lies. I really do. And I like I said, man, we just need to erase so much history, man. And we have to know when these people are saying certain shit, when they adding stuff to it. The African-American thing is, every time I hear that, I be want to punch somebody. Because it's a detriment, because a Nigerian naturalizes here in America tomorrow. He will not be a African-American. He will be a Nigerian-American. And I can guarantee you they're not putting him on the black. Ooga ooga. Peace to the tribe. The truth is in the building. Ooga ooga.
All right, I'm gonna continue on, and we're gonna touch some. All right, so say nonetheless, some people dissatisfied with their lives in the United States sought help from the society. It say its first vessel, the Elizabeth, set sail in 1820 with some 80 migrants on board. They were unable to acquire land in Liberia and took refuge in Sierra Leone. All right, so it say years later, the ACS was successful in obtaining a crate or whatever. It say a ship carrying 33 African Americans land. And like Chief said, we know that they not calling us African Americans. This is the direction in which the person who wrote this article wants you to believe. They wasn't calling nobody Africans prior to the fucking 1980.
But real quick though, bro, what was they calling them though? If they didn't have African on them, were they calling them Americans?
Negro or color. Negroes or color. Negroes or colors.
Right. But I'm just talking about our nationalities though. Our nationalities. Americans, Amerigos, colonized for the American Colonization Society. They colonized the west coast of Africa, Liberia to be exact, right? So we're talking about Americans colonized Africa.
That's right. And so think about that. So think about that, for example. But hold up. But think about that. What you saying, right? So listen. So obviously the Europeans already had some connection to Sierra Leone and Liberia, right? So why the fuck they didn't go there? Because we always say, oh, Africa got all this. So why the fuck didn't the Europeans go there? Because obviously, so who did the Europeans get that land from? That I think wasn't nobody on that land. Like Ali Muhammad said, that most of West Africa was inhabited by animals. Because if you go back to the 1800s, you see that they was over there killing a lot of animals on the coast. And and you got to also take into account. So now they had Liberia and Sierra Leone, right? So they don't tell you that they was bringing people from there to here. They telling you that they was trying to take us back over there. Okay, because they already knew that most of us wasn't from Africa. Well, like I said, why would they go through the trouble to bring you here and then ship your ass back? Why? Why would they go through that trouble? Why would that be the agenda to bring you here and then ship you all the way back there? because he was never there. They knew that we was warring with them the whole 200 years. And like I said, even when you go back here, you see why did the Europeans colonize, or why did they come to America? Once you understand that they came here for land and riches, you automatically know that they was not trying to go back without a fucking fight. Now they like just like Francis Cress Wilson said, their whole existence is genetic survival. So that's why they fight to the end like they fight, and that's why they go as hard as they go or whatever, because they know that it's over with. They can't stay here. It's over with. You understand what I'm saying? So they had win on their mind, and like I said, that's the reason why they went through all these unended backstabbing ways, which you'll be in your village or whatever. You'll make friends with these people, right? And then you'll be in your village chilling. You'll think that these people are peaceful people, and then they come back later on that night and start burning your villages down, and then capturing your people, putting your people in slavery, and selling you to the other tribes in the area. This is what they was doing. They will come on the land. If we didn't kill them, if we gave them an opportunity just to chill, we didn't know they wanted to stay. We thought they were just passing through. Kind of find out they had the agenda to stay here. That's on. No European came here with the intentions of going back to Europe once they came here. Their whole mind state was to come here, stay here, and that's it. You understand? So I'm gonna read a little bit more, and we're gonna touch on it. All right. So where was I? All right. So we was right here talking about the ship. So all right. So let's say over the course of 19 years. The ACS transported an estimate 16,000 migrants to Liberia. The migration peaked between 1848 and 1854. During this period, the ACS chartered 41 ships carrying over 4,000 colonists to their new lives in the new land. That's here, and they saying that they was bringing Europeans here and shipping us out, trying to send us back. They say most were free blacks who have either lived in the North all their lives or has been born in the South and later moved across the Macy-Dixon line. They say they came from almost all the southern states and from as far as Colorado. Many of the migrants were born free, it say, but a large number who been freed from enslavement and on the express conditions that they live in the United States. All right, so I'll read a little bit more. General Robert E. Lee freed most of his slaves before the Civil War. He offered to pay the expenses of those like William and Rosabella Burks and their children who wanted to go to Liberia. Burks wanted went to the seminary in the Monrovia. It's saying, and became I always get this word messed up. Okay. Minister. It's saying in 1854, a year later, he wrote his friend back home. It's a person coming to Africa should expect to go through many hardships. It's a such as are common to the first settlement in any new country. I expected and was not disappointed or discouraged at anything that I met with. It's and so far from being dissatisfied with the country, I bless the Lord that either ever my loss was cast into in this part of the earth. Now check this out. Let me see something. All right, hold up. I'm gonna read a little bit. I'm gonna read this right here, and then we're gonna touch on this. So it say in a letter to Mary Christus Lee, it say Rosabella Burke noted, I love Africa and would not exchange it for America. The colonists was primarily male and offended and often traveled in family groups. Many were under 20 years old in the 1820 and 1828 period. It say women made up 43% of those going to Liberia. Freeborn migrants were mostly artisans involved in agriculture in some way, and skilled and unskilled labor, a few were professionals. Say, as the 19th century progressed, the increase in numbers came from the middle and professional class. All right, so let me see something. Let me read this. All right, so it say the migration was not always without problems. Many prospects perspectives settled died en route. It say they succumbed to fever, tuberculosis, pleurisy, it say, and lung disease. The primary reason for African Americans to seek freedom through immigration was the perception that there was no alternative to the hopeless situation. But they also came to Africa because it was the land of their ancestors. Now, this is what they try to say. They say another reason was that the American Colonization Society paid their passage. Most could scarcely, they say, have afforded it, and would have remained in the United States had its society not paid their way. In the years of the ACS ran Liberia government, and say, but the settlers soon demand control of their own affairs. In 1837, the Commonwealth was formed, and virtually all powers devolved to immigrants. It say the society retained only the right to choose the governor. It say a decade later, Liberia became an independent nation, and in 1848, Joseph Jenkins Robbins, the Monrovia merchant who had immigrated from Virginia 20 years later, was elected president. So you see that these people had to build a lot of stuff in Liberia. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot to go with that though. But I mean, I was thrown off a little bit when I was reading this guy Cox and his connection to Marcus Garvey. It's a brother right here who had another article talking a little bit about it. He was talking about the migration, and he was saying how the Europeans funded it, and he made basically a GoFundMe telling Europeans to basically pay to send his ass back to send him back to Africa or whatever though. But he touched on it too, or whatever, and he was saying similar to Bishop Turner, Garvey and his supporters reached out to white segregationists, including Ernest Sever Cox of Richmond, Virginia. I already read what Mr. Cox was about, who he was rolling with. He was rolling with Walter Pleck, but we also touched on hold on, I'm gonna go back to that. All right, it's saying into the efforts of the soliciting financial and political support of the UNIA Liberia plan, say, in controversial decision that generated widespread criticism. Garvey later held a meeting with Edward York Young Clark. It's a acting imperial visit of the KKK in 1922. All right. They say, to be sure, Garvey did not solicit financial support from the KKK, and his decision was largely motivated by his concern of growing violence toward the UNIA members. But Garvey meeting with the KKK, similar to Turner, willingness to work with the ACS, it's a highlights how a particular kind of ruthless political pragmatism, they say, informed black leaders' response to white supremacy in the United States. Several black nationalist leaders followed suit in subsequently years, reaching across the aisle in efforts to support black immigration to Africa during the 1930s. Middle May Lena Gordon, founder of the peace movement of Ethiopia. Now I already read about that. You see, Garvey was reaching out to a lot of the KKK, to these white supremacists, and he was trying to make a decision for us to go back was making negotiations for us to go to fucking Africa. Now, most of us, we already kind of like we had issues with that, because when you read this right here, when I read this right here, right. All right, so American Colonization Society. This I read this yesterday in the other article, but I'll read it again. All right. So American Colonization Society was founded in 1816 to assist free black people in migration to Africa, with the brainchild Reverend Robert Finley, a Protestant, I always get this, a Presbyterian minister from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. I know where that's at too. It's Finley believed that blacks would never fully integrated into American society, and that they will only be able to fulfill their potential as human beings in Africa, the land of their fathers. He saw colonization as a charitable work, one that would benefit American blacks, the African light through the spreading of Christianity to Africa. So he also thought that it would prompt a gradual end to slavery, in keeping with the popular thought of the day. Finley saw the presence of blacks in America a threat to the national well-being, quality of life for whites. Okay, why is that? Why did he find that? He said that free blacks was unfavorable to our industrial and morals, and removing them would save America from difficulties such as interracial marriage and having to provide for poor blacks. Now, we know that's not true, but let's read some more. It's in December 1816, Finley traveled to Washington, D.C. There, he won an immediate support of his brother Elias B. Carl, clerk of the Supreme Court, Caldwell friend Sir Francis Scott Keys, okay, of author of the Star Spangled Banner. Say both of who have reputations of being friendly. Now it's saying to black, but we know that's not true, because we know that Mr. Scott Keys tried to get a black man executed or whatever, just for having pro-black literature. Okay, it say the three conversed for support, and on December 21st, 1816, called the organization meeting for the society, included some of the most powerful, influential men in the country. In this serious meeting, over the next few decades, the group adopted the Constitution, chose off officers, and decided to call themselves the American Society for Colonizing of Free People of Color in the United States. Now, Chief, like you said, it was calling us free people of color. Bushrod Washington, the of George Washington, was chosen as president of the society, vice president, including Finley, Henry Clay, Richard Rush, the Benjamin Rush, and Andrew the Devil Jackson was included on the list without his consent. In reality, he was a snut anti-colonist. Caldwell was the organization secretary, and Keys was the board of managers. Now we know that Andrew Jackson is the one that appointed Keys the position that he got, and I believe it was in Washington or whatever. All right. They say the movement of the ACS member varied considerably. Some were genuine allies of free blacks, and some were concerned for their welfare. Some hoped that colonization would eradicate slavery. Others wanted to maintain the institution of slavery, but rid the country of free blacks who believed posed a serious threat as potential fomenter of the slave rebellion. The concept of black colonization did not originate with Finley's. It's a since 1787 effort to find alternative home for free black. Now, why did they have to find an alternative home for you when you was already home? Because we was warming with them, man. And that's what I'm saying, though. So when they send over jokers like Garvey, even though Garvey tried to unite people or whatever, he still was reach the people who we should never reached out to. How do you come here and make a decision for us to go back to Africa and say, well, that's the only possible? No, we need to stand here and fight for shit here. All right, it's one of the most active prominent. They say of colonization. We know Paul Cliff and whatever, and a lot of people. He was Africa, but we know he wasn't Africa. He was just like what's brother name that died in the Revolutionary War? I found out that he was an Aborigine too.
Addicts.
Crispus Attucks. Yes, Attucks. Attucks is an indigenous name, man. You understand what I'm saying? But they always try to say. Go ahead.
Yo, you said that the American Colonization Society was started in 1816. Well,
yeah, but they had what?
Well, Thomas Jefferson and this government had outlawed the importation of Negroes into America in 1808. So, and let's just say that the people that they sent over there, right? They're just talking about what, 16,000? You're only talking about that's not even a percentage point of the people the ones that were here. And we're only talking about 13 colonies, 14 colonies, 15 colonies. Y'all got to understand, they didn't get majority of this country until the mid 1800s. So a lot of this conversation is always, people feel like when we're talking about these guys that we're talking about the whole country and that everybody was being counted, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. What about the people that was involved with the French and the Spanish? You know what I'm saying? So we have to account for these people. They're not accounting for them, and the story's not being told fully, and that's the problem that they're having, and that's why we're at this point right now, is because we're not getting the correct story as a people. Like, that's just the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Garvey, whoever, we're not getting the correct story. You see what I'm saying? Like, for real, I really do. I just think that they just brainwashed the whole situation. They just lying about the whole situation, creating the whole thing that didn't really happen. You know what I'm saying? Because people say, "Oh, look at this red, black, and green. This guy got right." I said, "Okay, well, guess what? That comes from the Americas, buddy. We made it popular here in the United States of America, buddy. You know what I'm saying? This is America, Jack, and that's just what it is, man. We got to have pride. They have made us to where we've been made the un-American people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even socially, it's all social. Now, here's the thing. Shout out to Libra Son, right? Here's the thing, right? Social norms and things turn into laws. Y'all see how that work? Because people had to take those social ideas, and then they vote people in with those ideas, and then they take those ideas and then they turn those ideas into laws. That's how this thing's going to turn around for us. We have to socially turn this thing around. So we understand that black is just another term that was given to us to take power from us, along with Moor, along with Negro, along with all those other things. What about American? 1560, noun, the aboriginals of this land, the copper color races that they found here. I don't want to talk about nothing else. Let's just talk about that. Who are the first Americans? Because y'all so slow, y'all don't know what an aboriginal is. First Americans, man. And that's a problem. We don't get, yeah, go ahead, brother.
Take a look at this. Now, this slaveboy.org, right? Now, these are the embarkation regions. We know embarkations is where they got on the ships at. Disembarkations is where they got off the ships at right now. Look, they got Sierra Leone on it. Look, from 1860. Now, they get said Sierra Leone was uninhabited. They had to go over there and create agriculture because it wasn't. Now you telling me you got people from there? You understand what I'm saying? So now you got people from there, and now you're saying that the people that went back there into Liberia said the fucking land was a mess. They had to fucking redo everything. So how did you get people from there if you took people back there, and the people, when they went back there, they was like, yo, like, motherfuckers never even lived here before. You understand? So that's how you know that these motherfuckers is lying about a lot of this shit, man. These is people that they send back from the Americas, man. Like I said, I don't believe shit these motherfuckers show me when it comes to this shit right here, man. Cause we done been so brainwashed with a lot of this information, and we ain't being told the proper story to where we beefing with one another or trying to really prove this shit to people. But it's nothing to prove to people, please, man. When you got images like this, bro, you see this? You see this shit right here, bro? Why would they make a motherfucking Indian? Now I got hundreds of these pictures, man. Y'all, you already know how this shit go down with me. Let me see something. All right. Indian. Look at the Indian. The Indian don't look like no damn Mongoloid. The Indian got Afro type hair or curly type hair. This is a damn Negro right here. Okay, this is motherfucking Negro and bird. Okay, because we think that's an eagle, it's a motherfucking phoenix. Okay, that's a phoenix. Also said the phoenix would be the thunderbird, but that's a whole nother story, right? Look at this right here, Chief. What Indian look like that? Chief, you seen an Indian look like this?
Yo,
you can't see it?
Yeah, go. Okay, now I can see it. Oh, yeah, man.
Yo, they done fucked us, my dude. They done fucked us. And look, let me show you another picture right here, right? This is a book right here, right? Can you see it right here? Look at the Indian.
Yep.
Now look, it says this book is comes between mounted troops and Indians, right? Now look, you see one Indian, one Aborigine trying to pretty much get the guy, and look the black Indian. Look at the nigga with the gun who they gave the gun. The motherfucking Negro right here wearing feathers. Okay? So the Negro right here went about to kill his own brother. You understand what I'm saying? Now he out for braids or something going on. This brother right here has an afro with feathers in his head. So if he's a damn African, why would from guns? Why would he dress up like Indian? You understand what I'm saying? And this don't seem to understand. Get it, man. When you see this image right here, this image is self-explanatory, man. You don't have to. What's understood, I don't give a fuck what you say his hair look like. This is a motherfucking nigga, and then people look at this all story. No. We ain't dealing with that. We dealing with the fact that this is a motherfucking Negro that they calling an American. And they try to say this is a Negroid, but we know the race of people named called Negroids. Okay? Even when you're right here. Even when you look at this image right here. Look, they got a motherfucking chain on. You understand what I'm saying? This is a Negro. He don't look no different from this brother. They just trying to make him look darker than him. You understand what I'm saying? So it's even when you go here, these are the people they found in Virginia. This is clearly what consider to be power hotting or whatever. But this is Virginia, bro. This is a damn Negro. This is not no motherfucker. That people found these people here that looked at like this. Where are these other Indians at, man? Where the fuck are they at, man? And this is what I'm saying. So now you got me and try to make the best for you and tell you, oh, let's send them back to Africa when your ass never came from another Negro. See this? You see this motherfucker got a cross on there. I don't know what's going on with him, but this is a damn Negro on the back right here. All right. So, and like I said, I done did plenty of videos, showed plenty of this one right here. Pretty much the same thing. Aborigines, and look how dark they paint. So they made a mistake and made these people look like this. This was a mistake to make these people look like this. You understand? But who come in here, and this is in Mexico, motherfucker dreadlocks. Man, I got plenty of these pictures. I ain't really want to go real deep with the shit today. I just wanted to show a few pictures. Two pictures that I found. Brother right here. It's American Indian. Look at this brother right here. They got an afro. See the motherfucker right here?
Jackson 5 afro.
And he got a machete. Look, he got a Jackson 5 in his head. And they're gonna sit here and tell you, oh, this is American Indian right here, y'all.
Hell no.
Indian right here. Yeah.
What is that in his hair right there?
They go more. That's like, so I'm gonna go back to that. That's like a pick.
Wow.
They go more in it. more Aborigines. Look at these brothers. Look, look. I can't read that, but this is in the Caribbean. You see this? Hey, man, the gig is up, man. And like I said, this is supposed to be Jamaica. Why would they go from this to this? These lying motherfuckers. Why would they show you this? Why would they show you this and flip it to this right here? You understand what I'm saying? Like this shit is comical, man. It's beyond comical. It's sad to an extent, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is your ancestors, man. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of pictures. Man. I got a lot of this shit, man. I ain't really gotta really go in deep, but I got a bunch of shit, man.
Yo, hey, real quick though. So I just found this out yesterday, right? And I haven't really looked into it, but somebody was in the chat room and they was like, "Yo, in New Orleans, the mayor, shout out to the mayor of New Orleans, turned like this picture right here. They turned them back to chocolate people, and I thought that was interesting. We're gonna really look in that.
Oh, hold on. I heard the nigga Tomahawk saying that the other day when he was talking to what's the name to Johnny Aborigine. Hold up. I got the what's the name right here. Hold up. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah,
I
that's
got it
deep.
right here. I looked it up. What is the hold up? Let me see. I got it right here. I got it pulled already. Because I was looking at it the other day, and as soon as he said it, I had it pulled up. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We'll find it. All right, man. Her name Mayor Contrell updates this. What's the name? Let me see something real quick. All right, so Mayor Contrell. Miss Contrell. Oh, this shit here. Here you go, right here. This is it right here. I don't know. I can't really open it too much or whatever, but you see the black Indian right here. You can see this, Chief? Chief.
Yeah, what's that?
Hello.
You can see it. You can see it right. This is it right here. Let me
Hold
see if I
on.
get it better.
You still got the other one on there. Hold on. I might have to refresh my thing.
Hello.
Yeah.
See, people know, man. They know. They just want to keep playing with us, man. But yeah, that's the whole thing why I wanted to look up the ACS, man, American Colonization Society, or whatever. It's clear the in my head, black
Have those
Aborigine.
type of people right there in Jamaica right now.
You talking about the other cell I showed you? This one right here. Hold up, here. Right here, Chief. Yeah, man, these motherfuckers.
Nah, bro, it ain't still
Treacherous bastards, man. These motherfuckers is they will they will go to this right in your face. Right in your face, they will go from this to this right here and then play these are our walks right here. People, like I said, I'm tired of meeting fake ass educated people, man. These motherfuckers who come to the Americas are some of the biggest dummy programmies that I've ever met. I was talking to a Dominican dude today. He looked at just like a black American, though, but he was telling me that there's a slave ship in the Caribbean. And he said that they got the chains on it. He said you could smell the smell, and he said you see the scratch marks on it, right? So he's saying that and I'm telling him, I said, listen, bro, that might have been a boat that left from the Americas that went to the Caribbean. I don't believe, and like I said, from what I see, bro, we under the spell, under the program that they bought millions of Africans here with. They already tell you only bought 387 people here, but then at the same breath, they're telling you that they sent 2 to 5 million people from this continent to the Caribbean and to Europe and to Africa. Now, 5 million is a lot of people. So let's say if they did ship 5 million people throughout the Caribbean and brought them back, that number is still way bigger than 380,000 people. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, even when you go on the census, you see how these populations jump up. And like I told you, if they claim, let me go back to what's the name. Let me go back right here. Let's go to disembarkation. Broad. Let me see. Matter of fact, I can go there. And this is what I was trying to show Jabari the other day. He tried to make it seem like he's so versed at this shit. These motherfuckers wasn't even using this shit. I've never heard none of the masses talk about the fucking using the slavevoid.org until we started using this shit. All right, so mainland and North America, 380,000. That's say a total population of 10,700,265 people or whatever that's supposed to have came here ultimately, right? Now in Brazil alone, right? In Brazil, right? They saying that they dropped off 4,864,374 people, right? Why in Brazil there's almost 200 million black people there now? You think that number right there jumped up to almost? That's a fucking. I can't really sit there and do the percentage. You figure that's almost that's a crazy increase because every doubles 100%. That's like a 5,000% increase. You know what I'm saying? Because you figure you would have to divide 480,000 into 200 million, and then once you get that number, for every increase is 100%. Will ultimately goes into the thousands eventually, and then you start figuring shit out from there. But like I said, British Caribbean right now, if they tell you that they were sending people from the motherfucking Americas, right? They were telling you that they were sending people, the British. We know that the British was only in Americas at first. When they talk about all these people that came here, most of them was British people. We know that the French and the Spanish came here at a certain point in time. We know that the French was lurking in the back with Louisiana and Mississippi. That's the reason why you see a lot of people in Louisiana with these French names and that speak Creole. Now they ultimately said that they sent the NAS chat from the Caribbean. From Mississippi to the Caribbean, and they said that was the French. The French inspired that. I showed that on 3 different occasions. Showed you that the NAS chat. They said that the NAS chat wore the feather crown. That's what we all was fucking wearing. All of the black Indians wore the feather crown and wore that motherfucking grass skirt from Canada all the way to the Caribbean. Now I don't know what the fuck these new Indians wearing. Whatever, that ain't us. That's not what we was wearing. We wasn't wearing none of that shit. You understand? And none of that shit they show you that you see these Indians wearing, that is not our motherfucking culture. When you really want to look at your culture and you really want to come close to it, the closest you to it is what Power Houghton got on. This is the closest you can come to your culture and find out what we was wearing here according to what this man right here had on. You understand? This is it right here. This is it. You understand? And like I said, and even if you look at it, so many different images of him. Look, this is a fucking Negro, man. This is not no Mongoloid. This is not no mixed person. And they show you the people, in Virginia now. Let me see something real quick.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't even know why this is up for debate, because when we talking to Jabari and we say Jabari, are the people in Egypt Kemet, right? They changed the name, Kemet. So remember that they changed the name from Egypt to Kemet, y'all, because they're trying to go more into the ancient names of that landmass, right? Well, when it was named Kemet, it wasn't named Africa at that particular time. And Kemet's up for debate too. So that's a whole nother subject. But they can go back and change things that are not they're not too emotionally attached to. You know what I'm saying? So we got to talk about that, like just being emotionally attached to these words like Africa and stuff like that. If you start going backwards, like when I was in my African mind frame, I started going backwards. Like, okay, well, it's not Africa, it's El Cabalon. Y'all follow me? So once I'm like, oh, it's El Cabalon, everybody that came from the continent didn't call themselves El Cabalonians.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? I started questioning El Cabalon. I started questioning all these different things. You know what I'm saying? So now we get to, okay, if nobody, none of these guys will ever be able to produce any documents, any legal, anything that comes from that time period that would say that they brought Africans here. And it's the same thing that they would tell a Hebrew. Show me where they brought you on a slave boat, Hebrew, Israelite. What? Show me that. You know what I'm saying? And so why not use the same logic for your ass when you say Africa? So we gotta get to that. You know what I'm saying?
And
So that's how.
they consider it to be Lower Egypt here because if you find Hebraic writing and Hebraic they said the oldest Hebraic literature was found in fucking the North Mounds in Ohio. The Ohio Mounds well not hold up. I think I'm wrong on this one, but I could tell you exactly that they said because I got the article, which is the fuck is the tablets. I can't think of it right now, y'all. My bad. I got a little brain freeze from doing all this. But the Descala tablets, the Descala stones, and then what they try to do is go back and say, "Oh no, these shits, this is not real. This is not." And if they do. And this is what they do. They go back and change up everything. We are on ancient land right now in the Americas, right? But because you have brothers like, like I said, Garvey might have had some good intentions to a certain extent, though. But you got to start asking yourself, how did Garvey get to London and how did he get funding? Garvey was a damn Mason, okay? He was a fucking Mason. And this is facts. This is facts, bro. How did he come? How did he get from Jamaica to London and get in these prestigious schools and was taught by these Europeans? Okay, but he rubbing elbows, he meeting with the KKK, and you hear about Malcolm X meeting with the KKK too, or whatever, on different views or whatever though. But I was actually reading something where they said that Malcolm X. Well, no, I'm a shout out to in the black media or whatever. Solomon had something up there with Dr. John Henry Clark, right? Let me see something. With Dr. John Henry Clark, and it basically was saying how that the Muslims over there, he was saying how the Muslims over there paid Malcolm X $3 million to come back. He said they tried to pay him, but it don't even matter because he came back anyway with Orthodox Islam, because he was saying that the Islam that the Nation of Islam was practicing was fake or whatever. And basically he's saying over there that you had white Egyptians, and you had all these other or white members of the Nation of Islam or whatever, and that kind of threw him off or whatever though. But he didn't understand that the fact that Elijah Muhammad was right though, because he's telling you the white man's the devil in this country. Never mind what you see over there. He talking about here in this country. Okay, here in this country where they practice white supremacy, where they came here and enslaved you and took your land. And like I said, most of the raids that they was doing on us was they came here on some friendly shit. And then we basically showed them how to live and how to survive here. And the only thing that they did was return you the favor. Was when you go to sleep at night, they'd do raids and burn down your fucking villages and take your land and do all this shit. And this is what they was doing. This is exactly what they did to get this shit over here, because they wasn't winning none of the wars. They could not beat us. They could not beat us in a straight up war. So they had to use these tactics, the same tactics that KKK used 200 years later, where you'll be living with your family in a house, and then you'll see 100 of these fucking devils pull up on a mountain with a burning cross telling you leave, or else telling you to leave your land. How dare them? And then this is what led up all the way to this whole video dealing with the American Colonization Society, giving you an understanding of what was the premise of them. Because a lot of these so-called black jokers, they think Paul Cuff and them had good intentions, which some of them might have had good intentions, but it ain't never good intentions if for me to leave my house and then to where the fuck you want to relocate me. And I'm not leaving my house because of a natural cause. I'm leaving my house because you got white racists that want me to leave because they don't feel free, because they know that this is our land and we're going to eventually get pissed off one day or whatever. And like I said, there's legal ramifications that we could take this shit into or whatever though, but for the most part, this is what they did. Sent all these brothers and sisters, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and brothers and sisters went over there, and they basically bitched up for even doing any like I said, legal ramifications, or even standing out there with signs, or even doing any type of protesting, or putting up any fight to let these people know that you're home. The only thing they could do is say, well, fuck it, man. We ain't gonna be able to make it there because they fucking taking the land, they doing all this. So let's leave. What kind of sucker shit is that? What kind of sucker shit is that? That's like me moving in your motherfucking house right now and whatever and making you sleep in the damn closet. You understand what I'm saying? What kind of sucker shit would that be? You know what I'm saying? Like what kind of sucker shit would that? I come in your house and say, nah, nigga, this is my shit now, nigga. Get in the closet. Sleep in the closet. Like what kind of shit is that?
Hey, but it's something that's interesting before I forget too. You said something about wars, right? That they never won any wars. I would need somebody to explain to me, when did Napoleon send the army over here? When did Spain send a armada over here? When did they send these? When did they have the resource? When did Britain? When did they have the resources to send these armies over here to beat us? I'll wait, because you remember you showed a picture of a brother shooting at another brother. That's who was fighting. They're just whitewashing history. They're whitewashing the founding fathers. Shout out to Glenn Beck. They're whitewashing your mind. You know what I'm saying? And here's the crazy part about it. Like, even when we're reading through etymology, when we're reading through certain things, you know, you have to have discernment enough to know when they trying to pull a fast one on you. You got to shout out to King Drop. We talk about dodging the hijack. Shout out to Career Mayo. Dodging the hijack, man. You got to know when they trying to hijack your fucking mind, colonize your mind. I think that's worse than anything else you can ever be. Yeah, if your mind's colonized, nothing else is gonna matter.
Exactly.
And so I think that's the main thing, man. Yeah.
That's what they doing now. That's what the main thing they doing. And like I said, and then you got these agents, like, you know, and you could be an agent by default. So Garvey, like I said, he might have had some good intentions, but just by him meeting up with this nigga Ernest Cox and telling him, and he tapping out saying, how the fuck you brought your ass from fucking Jamaica, and then you gonna come here and tell us what's best for us, that we should leave off our land to go to Africa? What kind of sucker shit is that? Or whatever, and then motherfuckers look at him with prestigiousness or whatever. And like I said, if I'm gonna dig up some more research on this, and I'm gonna find out that all his funding came from fucking Europeans. It was black. It might have been some black people who might have bought in to this, but what started this whole thing? He ain't come over here on his own. How the fuck did he pay to go to school in London? How the fuck the Europeans over there that got these prestigious schools over there accepted him like that? How? They wasn't just accepting anybody like that. The people they was accepting was people who they thought was gonna be you know what I'm saying, was going to basically submit to their will. They wasn't just admitting anybody that wanted to come over there and go. It's not like you can just go to college now back in the 1900s. So they just let you come from Jamaica to motherfucking to London, and then you get to go to school in London, and you say, oh well, no, because a lot of the education they wanted to keep for themselves. They just wasn't educating anybody unless they knew that you can be trusted with the education that they was giving you. They weren't gonna educate you so you can go free your fucking people. Because most of the people you see with educations was fucking coons and was used as pawns for white supremacy or white inferiority. You know what I'm saying? Right, Chief? Most of the people who they use them as pawns, man. All of the W.D. Du Bois, Booker Washingtons, and all these brothers, man, they was used as pawns, man. They was given shit. They was given a small trinket to what their knowledge was worth, and they basically sold their people out. So you honestly think that this man was able to go to school in London, and then you see him rubbing elbows with this nigga Ernest Cott, who had influences with fucking Walter Plecker. Anytime you hear that devil Walter Plecker name, you should be up on ease when you hear that name. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Be up on defense when you hear that nigga name or whatever. So he was in cahoots with all these people, and then he's telling Garvey, oh yeah, well you should tell, you should tell the black people, well, they should go back to Africa, emigrate there. Okay? Now they telling you emigrate. Emigrate is to leave your land, leave your original land, and go to another land. Okay, that's not I migrate. That's emigrate is totally different from that. All right, let me see if I can find a definition for that real quick.
Yeah, that's best.
So emigrate, listen to this shit right here, Chief. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me pull it up on the what's the name on the screen. Fuck it, so you all can see it.
Get 'em.
All right.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this, man. Hey, man, shout out
got
to man, tuning in, man. We definitely appreciate y'all, man. Shout out, hey, be on the lookout. Go subscribe to tribeup.app. It's a tribal media app, man, for the people, man. So shout out to Giovanni, man.
That's right, man. Subscribe to all Chief endeavors, man. As well as if you can donate to Culture Freedom. And real quick, before I even pull this up, let me give praise to the people who send me donations. I got a donation last night from somebody, and I ain't trying to be funny through my Cash app, but it didn't leave a name. So I don't know who sent me, but somebody sent me $8, and I appreciate you for everything. All right, so last night I got a $5 donation from I want to say this is the sister right here, TB. I don't want to say your full name. You already know how I do or whatever. Thank you, sis, for the donation. I appreciate you. And I got another donation, a $20 donation from WR. Thank you, sister. I definitely appreciate you. And like I said last week, I got 2 donations. I got one from my sister CB. I got another one from that which was $100. I got another donation from ML, which was a $50 donation. I got another donation from RB, which was a $10 donation, and I got another donation from my brother AH, that which was a $100 donation. Listen, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Keep on supporting me and get this documentary out, yo, and whatever. Like I said, it's going to be a very informative documentary. I'm going to try my best to make it a super heavyweight jam. You know what I'm saying? Something that's going to last for generations and centuries, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like we got Hidden Colors,
Right.
We need to get something for us here in the Americas, just to let people know that we was already here. Stop the foolishness, stop the bullshit, stop telling us that we Africans, and you know what I'm saying? So we can move on. So let me real quick, let me just go read this real quick. In my agree. I spell it wrong. Now here you go. All right, so it's a verb. Now hold on. You know what? There you go. Immigrant. I want this one. All right. So immigrant. This is a noun. It's a one who quit a country or region and settled to another. Okay. One more time. Immigrant. So immigrants, these motherfuckers who come here are not immigrants. They immigrants because they quit their country or their regions to settle to another. Okay, an immigrant and an immigrant and an immigrant is 2 different things. All right, so it's an immigrant, one who quits a country or regions to settle to another. Okay, let me look at the word immigration. All right, It say it say remove from a place. It say a noun of action from past particular. It say move away to depart from a place. It say from assimilated form. Okay. Now I say to go, to change, to go, to move. All right. So basically, move away, depart from a place. So that's basically what people do. Basically, what we was doing. All right. So let's see. That's basically what we was doing. I spelled that wrong. Y'all know my spelling is fucked up. All right. So the difference is it say one who immigrants. Okay, immigrant. It say to remove, to go in, move in. All right. So I mean, it's kind of similar, the same, but I guess immigrant is one. It said immigrant is older, so that's basically one who quits their land to move to another. And that's pretty much what what they was doing with this American colonization society to try to fucking soup us up to leave our country or leave our homeland so we can basically go to another homeland and which wasn't ours. All right. So I mean, let me read this one more time. Right. All right. So this is a joker right here. His name is Robert Finley. He's supposed to have been a pastor. All right. So American colonization was an organization formed in 1816 with the purpose of transporting free blacks from the United States to settle in west coast of Africa. Now, like I said, if they got you from West Africa, why would they be so eager to send you back? I don't believe it was shit in West Africa. Now, and the more we start really going down this motherfucking wormhole, we're going to find this out. Because how was they getting you from Sierra Leone when Sierra Leone wasn't? They say Sierra Leone was founded in around the 1600s or whatever, though. But understand this: if it was already founded and people was living there, then it would have had some type of agricultural system or something going on there. When the people got there, if you do research, you'll see when the people got there, they was pissed off. They was like, "What the fuck is this, man?" Like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? When they got there, they was pissed off. They had to refertilize the fucking soil. Now you saying yourself, well, Africa got all this shit. So why the fuck ain't staying there? Why the fuck did they want to come here so bad? If Africa had all that, why the fuck is they here? Why the fuck if they went there first, why didn't they get there? Why did they get stayed in and slay the people there? Why did they have to bring the people from over there to here? It don't make no fucking sense. But then, real quick, what does make sense is the history of European immigration to America. The first immigration is to increase their land and build great European empires with the increase of wealth, the mother country, by exploiting the natural resources of the new land. Now, if they was in Africa and Africa had all this shit, why the fuck didn't they get rich off of Africa? I'm waiting, Chief. I'm waiting.
Well, first and foremost, if they a diamond didn't mean nothing unless somebody made it valuable. A piece of gold, or it's just a piece of rock, right? So what would be valuable with a civilization would be food. If 600 of the 640 food groups that are in Africa came from America, we have a problem, Houston. That's why we have built so much more here, because we had the food to fuel us to build things. Goddamn, it's not hard, y'all. This is not hard. We have been lied to, and we ain't just been lied to about Jesus, damn it. We've been lied to about everything. Everything has to be put under the light. If it does not add up, we can't find no fucking boats. We don't have no records of this fairy tale. All you got is root. And I can't take it no more, man. I'm gonna be turning down debates now. The only time I debate these guys is going to be face to face, because I can slap them if they say something crazy, because I don't like this. Like, it's just stupid. It don't make sense to me. We are arguing over Aboriginal every day, and they calling us abos. That's why we're talking first. Like, because they're not, obviously people don't understand that they didn't start talking about people in Australia until they found them, right? That's into the 1800s.
Bro,
so they didn't name them Aboriginals until the 1800s, huh?
Let's go to the Summer Jam screen and find out. Let's go back to the Summer Jam screen just for people who don't believe, because people think that's abnormal. That mean abnormal and shit. Like, come on, man, stop your foolishness, bro.
Hey,
Let's go to the
if you
Summer
take
Jam.
that, if you take the AB off of Abel, is it you can't do it no more? You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? So we got to think about stuff before we say stuff, y'all. Stop it. And then you can just go to like you said, let's go to the Summer Jam screen. We'll go.
It say, boom, aboriginal, adjective, 1660, first, earliest, existing from the beginning. A special reference to the inhabitants of colonized Europeans. Now, hold up. What are we talking about here? We're talking about colonization. To increase their land and build great empires and increase their wealth of the mother country by exploiting the natural resources of the new land. It's a to search and begin gold, silver, and spices to increase opportunity for trade and spread the Christian religion. Okay, so now look. Now, what is this telling you? It says, look, 1660 from first earliest existed from the beginning, especially reference to the inhabitants of the lands colonized by Europeans. It say from Aborigine. See, Aborigine. The specific Australian sense is attested from 1820. The noun meaning the original inhabitants and a tauntaun. Okay? Like the tauntaunous one, which is me, and a tauntaun, one sprung from the soil he or she inhabits. Okay? Now it says specific Australian sense is attested from 1820. 1860, was these devils here? Or was they in Australia in 1860? No, they was here. Okay, they was here, and like I said, man, grand opening, grand closing. If Africa had all these fucking resources, why didn't they stay there and just fucking build shit there, as opposed to taking people from there and bringing them over here and shit over here? If Africa had all that shit, because we are being fucking lied to and being bamboozled. That's why they try to send your ass back over there, because they wanted to keep. This shit is way more important to them than it is over there, because they could have had Africa. They already had Sierra Leone and Liberia and all these countries that they trying to send your ass to, Nigeria and all these countries. So why didn't they just stay there and build up land there and fucking just end the story? Why? Why did they have to come here and enslave the people here? But yeah, you motherfuckers thinking, oh shit, they went there, they came here. You listen, you have to be the biggest retards on the fucking planet to believe that these people had all the resources to keep on moving back and forth. If they telling you right here, the reason they came here to increase their land, build great European empire. So to bring all these people here, you think they had the resources to bring all these people here? A fucking 10,702,655 people. So you think they had the resources to bring all these people here? And then they tell you, then we get these horrific stories of, oh, well, if 10 million made it here, then another 40 million died. So that's basically bad business. If you transport people from one land to another, and then you saying that only 10%, only 20% of your cargo made it, that's not good business. But what is good business is they come in here, they take it, and then the ones who didn't want to assimilate, they shipping your ass from here to the West Indies. Okay, with the help of other Aborigines, like you in this motherfucking picture right here. See this guy? See him? This is some of you motherfucking sellout coons to this right here. This is some of you fucking, and I ain't trying to say, I ain't got no problem with females. I love you women, but this is for some of the sellout coon niggas, and this is for some of the nigga women. This is for some of the same women who work in these fucking these fucking city ordinance or the government ordinance that be giving people hard time. Same motherfuckers who work for PSE&G, and when you call and try to set up a payment arrangement, they looking at you cheap like, oh, you can't afford to pay your bill? Why can't you afford to pay your bill? And then asking you all these other questions and shit to where they supposed to be looking at it like, see, and then we look at it, well, damn, I pulled myself up by a bootstrap. I was able to make it, and don't know that there's a system that created to keep your ass down. Why the fuck did, if the system was fair, been trying to send your ass up out of here? Okay, they wouldn't be, where was I at? Let me see something. Was we was in this one. All right, we was in this one. All right. So it says, during the decade, the society operated more than 12,000 people were transported to Africa, and the African nation Liberia was founded. The idea of moving blacks from America to Africa was always controversial. Among some supporters of the society, it was considered a benevolent gesture, but some advocates of sending blacks to Africa did so with obviously racist motives, as they believed that blacks, even if freed from slavery, was inferior to whites and incapable of living in American society. And many free blacks living in the United States was deeply offended by the encouragement to move to Africa. Having been born in America, they wanted to live in freedom and enjoy the benefits of their homeland. Now, why would they say of their homeland? They using these shits, they using these words, trying to really tell you that they already knew we was here, yo. You understand what I'm saying? You hear that, Chief? I don't know where Chief went, but yeah, that's pretty much it. You hear it? Look, one more time. Look. One more time. It say, but some advocates of sending blacks to Africa did so with obviously racist motives, as they believed that blacks, even if free from slavery, was inferior to whites and incapable of living in American society. And many free blacks living in the United States was deeply offended by the encouragement to move to Africa. Having been born in America, wanted to live in freedom and enjoy the benefits of their homeland. And little do we know, at this point in time right here, we ain't getting even right now in 2008, we still separated. You got motherfuckers, they sent all these immigrants here because basically like in the 1960s and when we had the civil rights movement, they don't want that, because they knew that if they ever gave us responsibility for all these jobs and shit, and we ever revolted, we'd shut down everything. That's why they made the Immigration Act at 1965, because they say, you know what? We need to start bringing immigrants over here, because if these Negroes ever do this shit again to us, that's gonna be it. It's gonna crash every motherfucking thing. So they bring these immigrants here, give them the jobs that you were supposed to get, and then you work upon them, and then a few of us be able to benefit from what's going on, and we think we all fucking made it. Meanwhile, like my man said, Tone Talk, he said that the average black family, according to them, when they said that you having wealth to the average black family is $300,000. To the average white family, having wealth is over $1 million. Okay, so now you got 260. He said 260,000 black people who have the income or have the wealth gap of $300 million. I mean $300,000, and that's 280,000. It's almost 80 million of us. So you're telling 80 million of us, which, you know, we can fuck with the numbers if we want, but let's say that there is 44 million, which they keep giving you the same numbers that never change from the damn 80s and shit, right? But let's say it's 44 million, right? So all right, 44 million people, right? So they telling you out of 44 million, only 280 something thousand have owned 300,000 or more. And then we get down in the millionaires, there's only like fucking maybe less than like 100,000. There's only 100,000 so-called black men. out of all the fucking people. Now, how many more people is in poverty? But like I said, when you go to these motherfucking when you go to these establishments and you see these fucking black coons there, they are the biggest fucking coons ever in life because they just as worse as an immigrant because they come here and do the same shit that they do. They don't mind selling their own people out for their own self-sufficient or to maintain whatever wealth they want to maintain. Okay, they don't mind, and it's the same thing. You leave your country, knowing when you go to a country that you ain't might not find people who look like you. So that means you basically gonna mix in with whatever culture people that's there. So you basically sold your whole ancestry out. So if you move from another country and you came here, you mixed in with these Europeans or whatever, and that your race or your ethnicity is different, then that's genetic annihilation. You done killed your whole genes to mix in just for the thought of wealth and materialism. And that's the same thing these motherfucking Negroes do. That's why I say, just like I don't trust a lot of my black like my immediate family, which will be so-called African Americans. I don't trust a lot of the Caribbeans. I don't trust a lot of the Africans. I don't trust a lot of none of these motherfuckers who come here. And like I said, the only way I know that they're my brothers is by their ways and action and how they provide, how they act according to once they get here. You understand what I'm saying? That's like that joke of Bolton Jean or whatever. Now you got all them Caribbean people saying, well, oh, I was listening to Al Sharpton, I believe last week, right? So now you had this lady from the Caribbean. She was like, oh, we need to do this. But when we was getting killed, nobody was saying shit. Now somebody from the Caribbean got killed or whatever, and then they sitting here like, oh, that ain't supposed to happen to us. That's only supposed to happen to Black Americans because Black Americans is the one who sell drugs. When a lot of the people who's coming here selling the drugs, look at a lot of them 80 movies. Look at Screwface and Mark for Death or whatever. Look at all these other, all Jamaicans. All them motherfuckers with Jamaicans the ones selling fucking dope here and selling poison to it. And I'm not saying all my brothers in Jamaica is like that. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. But you don't see no Black Americans going to none of these Caribbean countries selling fucking poison to one another. Yeah, we came here and sold it to one another. We came here and sold it to us, but we don't see no Black Americans reaching out from the Americas going to no fucking Caribbean selling poison there. But they come here and do that to us. That's why I say, listen, I got plenty of brothers in the Caribbean, plenty of brothers. If I want to say some of the brothers in Africa, they basically have the same mind state that we have here, but we also have people who come there that's fucking cool, just like we got fucking black coons here. It's like you got a Jesse Jackson, you got a Jesse Jackson in Jamaica. Just like you got Al Sharpton, you got an Al Sharpton in the Caribbean. Just like you got an Al Sharpton here, you got an Al Sharpton in Africa. And so on and so on and so on and so on. What's the motherfucker name that be on ESPN? The fat motherfucker. Jason Whitlock, whatever the fuck is that bastard. Just like you got a Jason Whitlock among the African American community, you got a Jason Whitlock in Jamaica. You got a Jason Whitlock in the Caribbean. You got Jason Whitlock in Africa. You got a Jason Whitlock in all of these black countries that come here and go and they go undetected because we look at them and say, oh, that's my brother right there, and not knowing he grinning like a motherfucker. So when the brother Bolton Jean get shot up or get killed in his own house, now they want to say, well, damn, you know, like, and just like they were saying with the brother named Adam Lewima, the one that stuck up his ass or whatever the fuck these devils did to him or whatever, you know what I'm saying? As long as it's not them, as long as it's happening to black Americans, then oh shit, we different. Then you know what I'm saying? But as soon as it start happening to them, they start looking like, yeah, these motherfuckers is racist. These some racist bastards over here. You done migrated into a burning motherfucking house. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, this ain't for everyone. Because like I said, I have plenty of Jamaicans, bro, I fuck with heavy. Plenty of them. Like my man downstairs, that's my man shit. That nigga always be like, hey, he got one of them strong Jamaican accents. He be like, man, this motherfucking European is a treacherous animal, man. He was like, man, He's like, I hate, man, working for this motherfucker, man. But he said, I ain't got no choice. He said, I got a family. I got this high ass rent. I gotta fucking provide for them. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what most of us do, or that's the situation that most of us are in, as well as the brothers and sisters that come here. A lot of brothers and sisters come here. You know what I'm saying? They want to come here probably just to get away from some of the racism or some of the poverty in their country. But then when they get here and realize there that there's opportunity, but you have an opportunity to work for 70 hours a motherfucking week. And then they're going to give your ass a cell phone to be on call. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, when they're calling you like, no, we need you. Get up. Come on. All right, we need you. You got to get up and go. You know what I'm saying? That's worse than being on a fucking plantation. You know what I'm saying? That's worse than being on a plantation. So, like I said, man, no, definitely no disrespect to none of my brothers, or no disrespect. Like I said, I respected some situations in which Garvey was pushing, but if he was connected with the American Colonization Society, if he was connected with this cracker right here, this racist cracker right here, let's find this bastard. If he was connected with this motherfucker right here, Ernest Sever Cox, a scientist and explorer, and it says a white supremacist who advocate on behalf of anti-misogyny. It say he was connected with Walter Plecker. They say the Racial Integrity Act, and like I said, when you go down, you see that they always connected with the ACS or whatever. And then when you start really digging in deep with the ACS, you start seeing figures like this pop up. You start seeing figures like this motherfucker pop up. Where his ass at? Right here, Andrew Jackson. We already know who Andrew Jackson is. How many of you motherfuckers got the? And it ain't because of African slaves. It's because Andrew Jackson went on fucking went to war with the Aborigines. He had to snatch up Africans. Oh no, he was snatching up Aborigine slaves, giving them the last name Jackson. But we don't fucking understand, okay? Also, Francis Scott Keys. What is Francis Scott Keys known for? Let's take a look. Says Francis, let's read the third verse of what Francis Scott Keys said. And these are all people who was connected to the ACS, the American Colonization Society. These are all people who was connected to them. A bunch of fucking straight up racists. Okay, now look. They go to your third verse right here, right? Where we at? Oh, it's loading up. All right, hold up. It's about to load up. All right. This is it right here. This is its third verse right here. It says, it say the continuous British bombardment. Now remember, like I told you, the British was in the Americas. So when you see the British Caribbean, them was the force in which they were sending Aborigines in America to them British force in the Caribbean. Now I'm gonna show you something real quick after I get finished touching on it. It say the British bombardment of Fort McHenry in Baltimore after seeing the White House burn. Who burnt the White House? Black Aborigines. It say, and the fort survived. He became so moved that he wrote a poem that became the national anthem. In the third verse, he had a special message for enslaved people who had dared to fight for freedom. We can get revenge. No reference could save you from the horror of the slave, from the terror of flight, or the gloom of the grave. Star-spangled banner and trife dark wave. Ode to the land of the free and the home of the slave, or home of the brave. His message for blacks fighting for freedom was unmistakably, we will hunt you down and search. We will leave you in terror, because when we find you, your next stop is the gloom of the grave. Okay? What they said, they melted motherfucking Nat. This is what they said. I don't believe they even caught Nat Turner. But they said they melted Nat Turner down to car grease. They melted his motherfucking body down to car grease. What kind of wicked savage would even a shot in the head would be sufficient or whatever. But damn, you had to take that. This is the story you told us, that you took that man's body and melted his body down to fucking grease. You understand? Like, what are we dealing with here? Well, I mean, what kind of wickedness is this, man? But here you go. And this is the motherfucker who people stand up for. They stand up for this shit right here. This is the person who had the influence of making the Star Spangled Banner. But they want you to stand up for that shit, though. And if you don't stand up for it, they looking at you, oh man, you ain't one of us. Oh, you ain't one of. And this is what they say. And like I said, you see, Francis Scott Key's name is dealing with this ACLS as well as Andrew Jackson. I don't care if they don't. They say he was included on a list without his consent. Get the fuck out of here. He probably was the main person he probably was the underwriter for all this shit. Tell him, yeah, well, what we want to do is, because we have seen the Seminoles in Florida fight or whatever. What we need to do is we need to send them to another country. The same thing they was doing. They come here, snatch up the motherfucking chiefs, send them back to Europe. This is how you seen all these images of black Indians in fucking Europe, because they was taking you from here to there to break the fucking tribes down. Okay? They've been deporting us. And that's another thing. When you look up the word deport, right? Look at this shit. Check this shit out. Look what this shit means. Look what this means. Look, it says deport, to behave. It say behave, deport oneself, which high range of secondary meanings. Be patient, take one. It say sexual pleasure with amusement. All right, that's a whole nother topic. It's basically say behave, meaning that you wasn't behaving. That's why they was deporting your ass. It say banish, transport off, carrying off from one country to another, especially forcibly. Okay, deport. How you gonna deport somebody from their fucking country? Now listen, check this shit out, right? Now, today we see deport as being backwards. We see deport as people who left their landmass to come to another landmass, and then when they catch you, they will send you back to your landmass. But look what the word deport meaning. Okay, it's saying banish, transport, or carry off from one's country to another. So it says taking you from your country to another. It say especially forcefully. Okay, 1640 from French deporters. Okay, anytime you see that name up in 1640, they talking about here in the Americas. Carry off, transport, banish, exile. Okay, exile. How do they exile you from your own fucking land? How? And this is what this whole immigration, colonization, ACS, American Colonization Society, this is what they trying to do. And then they use these motherfuckers right here. Your man in them right here. You see him? Look. See the Aborigine trying to fight for his brother right here. He trying to poke the motherfucker. And this nigga got a shotgun pointing at his head. This is the reason why when you see most of these pictures of motherfuckers with guns, they was the ones selling you out. Because they showing you, and you read most of the litigation, that they was not allowing you to own guns. Because they already knew you was fighting them with bow and arrows and with tomahawks and shit. So if you had guns, then it would be a whole nother problem. So I'm about to start winding this down or whatever. Let me see what we got in a place to be, man. Let me see. Let me see what we got going on. And like I said, man, anybody want to donate? Shout out to brother. I think, like I said, brother just sent me a donation. Oh, hold up. Let me shout this brother out. Brother WM the third sent me a $20 donation. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much, bro. And like I said, man, I'm trying to get this documentary. Well, I ain't trying. This shit is already underway. This shit ain't even, like I said. And for those of you who don't, who can't, who monetary gain to help me move this off, send your testimony. If a lot of you got great stories, I read the shit in the comments. Send me, you got my email. I put my email out there. Send me an email. If you don't want your picture up there, just give me a testimony and I'll read it off. I'll read it off myself on you know what I'm saying, on the video or whatever though. But please, man, send, you know what I'm saying, definitely support, man. Send your, you know what I'm saying, send your testimonies of your family or what your grandmother told you or whatever. If you can't donate, you can be part of it. You can be part of it even if you don't have the monetary gains, bro. Like I said, it's not all about the monetary gain, but I know it's some brothers out there who really can support, man. Support your brother, man. Go to my t-shirt spring account. Go copy yourself an Aborigine t-shirt. So it's so people will know who you are. Cause they ain't selling that shit inside Macy's nowhere. So how else you want to represent? Like I said, I wear my shit all the time, bro. And I be feeling great. I'll be walking around. I'll be walking around my Aborigine shirt on or whatever. People be looking or whatever though. But I don't care. Fuck your feelings, man. I'm an Aborigine in North America. I don't really care about your feelings like that. You don't care about my feelings. These people come here, they laugh at you. Oh, we able to make it, so why weren't you able to make it? They was gonna send your ass to another country because they felt like you was never gonna be able to integrate into American society. So why do all these other people have such an easy time integrating into American society? Easy, easy. Motherfucker come here, get them a brand new house, no problem. But you, and then we sit and say, oh, well, black people don't want it. Nah, it's because now you got way more competition. It ain't like they took care of all our people first. Now you got to sit there and fill out applications with people with foreign names and all these. Before it wasn't like that prior. So like I said, in the 1965, when you had the civil rights, when you was fighting for civil, as soon as you got your civil rights, as soon as Lyndon B. Johnson signed that motherfucking paperwork, they made the motherfucking the Immigration Act of 1965, bringing immigrants here and saying, well, and they ain't bringing the rich immigrants, they bringing poor immigrants too. And like I said, this is not for all people. This is not for, I ain't saying this towards all the immigrants that come here. You know what I'm saying? But for the most of them that come here, like I said, you got all the influence. A lot of people that influx into this country in which you can't get a job because you gotta sit there and fight along them. Now, requirement is to speak a different language or whatever. If you can't speak a different language, they won't even hire you. That is discrimination in its own. So, like I said, man, go. If you can support the boy, support your boy. If you can't, send me some, you know what I'm saying, send me a video with you know what I'm saying, basically telling me who you are, telling me what your tribe is, telling me what your grandmother said. If you have any additional information, because some of you guys know people who are chiefs and people who have who know real history when it comes to this, man. And if, like I said, if you know about that and you know any chiefs or anybody who want to get their testimony put out there, want to get it on video or want to get it on YouTube, reach out to me. All right, let me see who we got in the chat room tonight. All right, we got Mr. Dark Brother, peace, my brother. American Copper Aboriginal Son, peace. Shaman, peace. My brother Killer White Supremacy and Coon, peace. Sekhmet Ra, peace. The Ghost, you can't see the screen. Oh, let me see something. Oh shit, stop it, hold up.
Oh, yo.
All right. Yeah. See, Morris Excellent, peace. No Sellouts, peace. Ismail Muhammad, peace. Dion Belly, peace. Maha peace. Libra Sun, peace. Ron Redbird, peace. I think I said Morris Excellent, peace. Let me see who else we had up here. What else we got up in here? John Smith. Lonnie, what's up, Lonnie? How you been, sis? Let's see what else we got here. Sister Carol, peace, sis. Mr. Mohawk, Aboriginal, peace, my brother. Chris Connors, what's up, my brother? Yeah, man, you see that, right? Ain't no way getting around that shit. He was down with the American Colonization Society, Marcus Garvey, bro. There ain't no way around that shit. And it's probably some more, if I really do, I already know he's a Mason. You know what I'm saying? Kawa, peace, my brother. Herm P, peace.
Hey, peace to Kyle, man. He had sent his I guess family genealogy to Cure Mayo, and he put in this part. I think it was part 6 of it. Was a series that he's doing. If y'all haven't seen that, please go over there and check that out, man. It was heavy. Shout out to Cure Mayo, man. But you know, he broke down. He went like and showed like the census, right? And it was breaking down his family, and it was showing how they went from. They were just basically writing in whatever they wanted. They were just changing his classification, his family classification, and they was even changing some of the family members within it from black to full-blooded Cherokee to Negro. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously you see, you know, now we African Americans. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like to be able for him to be able to break that down and show that a lot of us got that. You know what I'm saying? Most of us got a lot of that type of stuff. So
when you got situations like that. When you got situations like that, you should be filing lawsuits, bro. You should be filing lawsuits, taking that shit straight to the motherfucking government. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way in the world. And what they gonna do? They gonna lie about it? You got the shit right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking lawsuit, man. That ain't no shit to where a motherfucker could just go fuck with your shit and then do what they want to do to it. That shit not right and exact. You understand what I'm saying? They go in there, fuck with your shit, and then change your whole change. That's the reason why we don't know who we are, and then we think we Africans or whatever. That's all right, though. I do this documentary.
Do we need to pass the bar to practice law?
Nah, the law is civics. It's all law. All law is common to all. So as long as that's the reason why they look at you like they look at you when you go into a court, motherfucking lawyer, an agent of the court, a nigga with a bar, British credit register or whatever, because you supposed to know the law. You think when you go into Cancun, Mexico, and you got a Mexican with you speaking for you, and you can't say, you don't know how to say Buenos Dias or you know what I'm saying, Coma Esta, you don't know how to say none of this shit on your own? You ain't take time to research or study or at least learn any commands of that country? You think people look at you, motherfucker be sitting up there saying some bullshit about you. Nigga be saying you a faggot or saying you know what I'm saying? Nigga be saying anything. Nigga be saying anything in Spanish and your shit. You don't know what the fuck he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And you know, you can't even understand the same thing you go in the courtroom. You go in the damn courtroom, motherfucker be saying anything, nigga looking at you laughing at you don't even understand it. But he ain't got you off and shit. Yeah, you got probation for 10, you got 10 years probation like Meek Mills and shit, thinking you got off and shit. Yeah, my money got me off or whatever. But yeah, you supposed to know how to go in there and file a fucking, you don't know how to file a civil matter? You don't know how to file nothing in the Supreme Court, Superior Court? It ain't really hard. You just gotta know what to do. And if you want funds to file it, then you file an informis pauperis. Informis pauperis is an indigent fee, meaning you won't have the money to pay because Trust and believe, when you sue people for anything over 3,500, anything over 10,000, there's different fees that's attached to that, and you have to pay. You have to pay that before the service gets served or whatever. But if you file indigent, everything during that, everything, the end during that trial, during that procedure, while the discovery is being generated, is free. The only thing you need to do is have a copy of your papyrus. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I do that for all my shit. I don't pay. I haven't paid. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know how to file it. But nonetheless, though, like I said, man, you supposed to be able to know to go in there. If motherfucker got your ancestry all screwed up and they know it, and they telling you an African reason why you fucking pay, I shouldn't be paying no taxes. And I'm not trying to be paying no tax on no damn reservation. How the fuck you gonna move me off the land and move me somewhere? No, you should have memos out to these fucking these municipalities saying no, he indigenous anywhere he live on this continent. So if I move from New York and Brooklyn, I'm tax free. If I move to California, I'm tax free. If I move, I'm talking about property taxes, state tax, buyer tax. I should be go to school for free, and you should be popping that bag in my motherfucking account every month. You understand what I'm saying? These devils ain't gonna do that. You know, these devils will send your ass back to Africa. And that's the thing. If they man, listen, this shit, the gig is up, man. They know you're not African. They know you're not from Africa. The only reason that you think you African because they telling you that's what you are. And you don't even know, you don't even got to argue that fact. And you got these Negroes, Sonetta and them, who they basically another Marcus Garvey. So they take money from the white and send your ass back to Africa or whatever, but they don't want to go back. But they quick to say you're African, nigga. What tribe are you from in Africa? What territory are you from in Africa? The people who went to Africa, they didn't go to the whole continent. They went to certain regions and they asked the people of the region, what do you call this land? Oh, this land is such and such. Then they go to another region. What do you call this land? Oh, what tribe are you? Oh, well, we are one tribe, but over there's another tribe, or over there's another tribe, but the territory is this. The whole land is not the motherfucking territory. But if to a colonizer and someone who's trying to contain you into a place, then you're going to tell me that the whole continent is one landmass, which is not. All of the people are not united on that landmass. So how you going to unite us all with one term, designating us all as one term of endearment? So, like I said, man, you know, I don't know tell some of y'all, man, you know what I'm saying? Because people like, you know, I mean, I could tell some of y'all that be on them short buses, go bang your head on the motherfucking wall without a fucking helmet. Put yourself out your misery. Go ahead, but a brick wall. Do yourself a favor. You understand what I'm saying? Because like we just read what the American Colonization Society, we just read. You know, stumbling over words, mispronouncing words, but we got through it. You understand? We seen Garvey was part of these fucking organizations. He was a Mason. I ain't even going into the part that he was a Mason. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not saying everything that brother did, he had bad intentions on. With this racism, this white supremacist, and it come to the Americas when he ain't even from them. He from, I ain't saying you ain't from America, but you ain't from this region in America. We got a whole totally different mind state than where you came from. But you come here and you tell us, oh, we should go back to trying to convince people to go back to Africa. That's probably the reason why W.D. Bois was mad at the motherfucker. Because he's like, how the fuck you gonna come here and convince my people to leave their country? So, like I said, man, people better wake the fuck up, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you got documentation of where you was from and you can prove it, then go prove that shit. You ain't just gotta wait for them. Go take that shit to court. Go file a fucking lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't trying. I'm hypothetically speaking, man. You know what I'm saying? If it means that much to you and you feel like you've been injured by being called a black, Negro, or color, Don't you think you've been injured by being called the African American if your people was already in America? But yet you got the Europeans that came here that's from all these different countries in Europe. But none of these niggas just say, I'm an American. I'm not, no, I'm just a straight American. But you've been here longer than half of them. You've been here, no, you've been here longer than all of them. And you call yourself an African American. You from 2 continents. They done designated you in continent from one continent and just put you in another one. So, like I said, man, wake the fuck up, people, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I enjoy making these videos, man. You know, go PayPal if you want to support the documentary. I appreciate everybody thus far who supported the kid and supported this documentary or whatever. You know, go to my T-shirt Spring app or cop yourself something nice and rock it, man. Rock it, bro. And rock it with your head up. You know what I'm saying? Come next month, I'm gonna probably make a website and I'm gonna refine a bunch of my stuff, whatever. I'm still gonna be using T-shirt Spring, but I got some different inspirations, like some hats and some other things or whatever. But for the most part, man, thanks for the people for supporting me. Even if you ain't supporting me through federal, through monetary means, supporting me by coming, watching the video, by leaving the unkind comments, I appreciate all that. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes I'm not one to get frustrated about like, you know, who supporting. I'm a Sagittarius, so sometimes I might say things that's harsh or whatever, but it ain't nothing personal or whatever. Yeah, for the most part, I enjoy your support. You know, coming to the videos, liking the videos, and you know, we got 148 people watching. I'm not one to tell people to press like, but press like so this shit can be trending. But that's what I heard when a lot of people press the like button. That's what happens. The video be trending. So, you know, hit the like button. We got 148 people, or 140 now because I asked y'all to hit the like button and shit. God damn, motherfuckers is treacherous, man. Man, I see 5 dislike the video. Listen, it speaks for itself. He was hooked. Marcus Garvey was hooked up with this nigga Ernest Server Cox. They conspired with the ACS to send our asses to Africa because they wanted to keep this land for themselves. If they was already in Sierra Leone, it's basically how you're going to send you to Sierra Leone because they had it already set up over there. So if it was so nice in Sierra Leone for you, why didn't they go over there and stay in Sierra Leone? Why was it so necessary that you had to go there? No, you don't ask yourself that question, right? If they was in Africa first, why didn't they just stay in Africa? Why they had to come here? It don't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense. The only thing that makes sense was they came here, and then what happened was they found you here. They thought you was gonna give up your land freely. When you started fighting for your land, that's when all the problems started. And that's one of the reasons, because they was deporting a lot of these chiefs that was here already. They would deport you. They would deport the chiefs, lead the chiefs out, and what they would do is send your ass over there and learn the language. So when they pull up on shore, they'll be yelling the language, and people think you friendly or whatever. And gonna find out you a damn, you know what I'm saying? You crossing the motherfucker. So, like I said, man, at the end of the day, man, thank everybody for coming through, man. You know, definitely, man. You know, like I said, if you could help the brother, help the brother. If you could send your information, your motivation, your testimony from what you're, I appreciate you or whatever. One way or another, peace made me to die. Oh, else we got up there? Tenfold, peace. I ain't be reading the comments too, man. I mean, some people I'm familiar with, some people I'm not familiar with. I might be shouting you out, and you might say fuck, you might say something negative about my damn mother. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, though, man, it is what it is. But yeah, Garvey was a Masonic coon or whatever, which, you know, he tried to do something that might have had some importance for black people at that point in time, but a lot of Negroes like, man, you out of your mind, nigga. We not going to Africa. You take your ass over there. You know what I'm saying? You take your ass over there. And he was thinking white supremacists. Like I said, so now you know the American Colonization Society. Look, listen to what they named it after. The American Colonization. Anytime they try to colonize something, meaning they're trying to assimilate you into what their beliefs. That means they trying to indoctrinate you under their beliefs. Make you tap out on your own personal free thinking or your free beliefs and have you convert into what the fuck they want you to convert to. You understand? So we already know, man.
Let me ask you a question though. When we talk about the American Colonization Society, right? They had a plan, right, for America to colonize other lands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they colonize in Korea, Japan, what else is America? Germany. Is that a part of the plan of the American Colonization Society, you think, brother?
I only pretty much, I think that their main plan was to colonize this land. Their main plan was to come here and take this shit because, like I said, they already colonized certain parts of Africa. But like I said, if they went to Sierra Leone and Liberia, and these places was basically uninhabited, man, they were saying that the soil wasn't even fertile. They had to put massive work in to fertilize the fucking soil. So, I mean, maybe they might have went to other regions, but for the most part, we know they wanted this shit. And the only thing that was in their way of them keeping this shit is you. And to this very day, it's you too. That's the reason why, like I told you, all this shit, when you dealing with immigration, all that shit plays a part into this, man. All of it is connected. All of it's connected. From the fact that they bring people here, and these people is like they tap out to whatever these people tell you, because all they got to do is wave a picture of your country over your head, like, yo, you want to go back there? Okay, well, do like I said, do. Okay, all right. And that's what they do. Most of these people that's here, they're not going country. And you know, another thing, when I see, there's a fucking movie, right, about gentrification, right? There's a movie about gentrification dealing with Puerto Ricans. I don't know what the name of the movie is or whatever, but how the fuck they got a gentrification movie about Puerto Ricans before they got a gentrification movie for Aborigines? We done been gentrified from fucking since 1492. Oh, well, I don't want to say since 1492. We want to say since the British came to North America. But other people been gentrified since that term. But here in America, we've been gentrified since what the first colony in Roanoke Island was in 1585 or whatever. Since the 1500s, we done been fucking gentrified. And the first gentrification started with them coming here, taking your land, running you off your land, to the point that when you did get land, you know what I'm saying, now they bring other immigrants here and push you in your land, and now they push you off. But like I said, man, I mean, at the end of the day, man, smarten up people. Like, the information is real. The information is real. The information is real. The information is real. So just, like I said, man, just know who you are. Know thyself. And that's the reason why you got a nigga like Phil from the Vice show. So, oh yeah, Africa's so, man, you take your ass over. I'm not going back there. It starts here and it ends here. You understand what I'm saying? That's it. That's as pretty much as I can tell you. I'm not abandoning my motherfucking home. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people do. They wave the white flag, but half these niggas over here that go to Africa and visit, ain't none of them then go permanently move over there. None of them. If it's so nice over there and you making these beautiful gestures about go take your ass over there, live over there for motherfucking a couple years, and that's it, man. And then get back at us, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, man. Like I said, then they bring all these people here with these fucking dreams to be colonized. And none of these people deviate and see whether or not they being told the truth or anything. They just believe everything that they being told is the truth. They ain't trying to deviate because they ain't gotta worry about their ancestors being hung from fucking trees or being hung from because you work for a European and the European did not pay you, so therefore you stole something out the store and he hung your ass and didn't hung your mother for coming to try to help you. You see how that shit work? But a lot of these motherfuckers that come in, they would sit there and try to get you to be like, man, come on, man, come on, man, you know, you can have all this or whatever, and lose whatever integrity you got on a fact for some materialistic shit. So like I said, man, start calling these coons out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and love yourself, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, motherfuckers gonna be pissed off about the Garvey situation, but fuck feelings. I really don't even care. Like I said, my people, the Aborigines here, you selling us out, trying to send us to another land. You coming from a whole nother country trying to make suggestions or whatever. You go over there and help your brothers over there in Jamaica first. Don't come here and try to get with us and tell us, oh well, you should go get the fuck out of here, man. We're not going back to no Africa. You take your ass back over there and go over there and live with your dashiki on or whatever, and go feed the monkey some grapes. I'm not going to Africa. I'm saying my ass right here, where it's from, where my mother and where all my ancestors is buried. So I'm about to get out of here, Chief, man. You want to say something before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. As usual, man. Thank you for having me, man. I definitely appreciate it, man. We definitely appreciate the work that you do. You know, and everything that you just the sacrifices and things that you make with your time and stuff like that. And that's one thing we can't get back is our time from our families and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you there, man. Big salute to you for that. I just like to say, man, you know, like I said, man, this thing is growing, man. It's going to the next level, man. So I feel like, you know, we just got to stay the course, man. And if we're on the right side of history, we have, if you believe in anything, you know what I'm saying, we have all the right things working for us, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, we just got to keep doing the right things, man. And if you're righteous, man, it's gonna pay off, man. If you're not, I feel like you'll be exposed in this day and age, especially with the internet and stuff. So yeah, man, we're just gonna keep doing our thing, man. I think I'm gonna do a short but shorty after this, man. So come check us out over Tribe Up. And check out tribeup.app. It's the only, I ain't say the only app, but it's one of the only apps that pays you to build your social media network, man, build your friends up, man. So we paying every referral. So you sign up to tribeup.app and then start building and then sign up to the affiliate program and then start building your tribe. And we're gonna be doing a lot of other things, man. We trying to create businesses, man, you know, from the cannabis lane, from the telecommunication lane, from the travel lane. So anything that I'm involved in, man, I'm trying to monetize it for the tribe. So big ooga to the tribe, man. Peace to everybody, man. It's all love. Let's get it, man. The truth is in the building. Ooga. Let's go.
No doubt, man. I definitely appreciate my brother, Chief Holiday, my day one. Been here from the beginning or whatever. And just real another note. I was checking a brother Tomahawk tribe, the older gentleman, and he said how the DEA ran in his house because somebody on YouTube reported him of having some type of fucking next or something in his house or whatever. As well as something, you know, some threats were sent to Dane Calloway. Shout out to Dane Calloway. You know, a lot of brothers, you know, they not agreeing with some of the, like, you know, a lot of stuff that's going on with him. So definitely send some love and light over to the brother, because the brother still do good work. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of good information. And I know a lot of us in the Aboriginal community is not unified as well. We may seem like we unified, but a lot of us are not 100% unified. And that's just something we need to work out, though. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't be airing each other out or whatever. And as far as as far as a lot of these motherfuckers, the other day I had a couple words with this motherfucking coon ass nigga Black Jesus Ministry or whatever. Sarnetta don't have a problem. Sarnetta hate Jesus. He hate the Aborigines more than he hate Jesus. And you know he don't believe in no Jesus, but he'd have a nigga who call himself Black Jesus ministry on there, but he won't have no true Aborigine up there submitting their paperwork. Well, not submitting that, but doing a presentation. And I don't really need him myself though, but I just find that to be funny, that the fact that, like, yo, man, you don't support. I mean, you don't even give the brothers an opportunity to come on there. Because everybody just gunning for Dane Calloway. There's a lot of brothers who got some great information and that can basically present and get through to the people and let the people know we was already here. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, a lot of brothers and sisters, they don't want to believe that shit. They get mad, man. They be hot at me. I'm not an African. I'm not. Where am I from in Africa? What makes me an African? Because you want to attach that word to me? What made me an African? You made, because the white man who don't know who he is come here and just apply anything to your ass, and you believe you are that? So with that being said, man, get the hell out of here. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Love y'all, man, for coming through, supporting the brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, once again, for those of you who would like to support Culture Freedom, you know, the link is in the description or whatever. Like I said, you can send $1, $2, $3, $100, $1,000. Shit. And I ain't trying to be cocky though, but like I said, I'm gonna have some of these people that's on this documentary, I'm gonna have to grease their palms. You know what I'm saying? For their hard work and them giving their information and whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how we supposed to do it. Or whatever. We ain't supposed to just always go expecting somebody to do something, especially if they got family members. I don't care if I take some groceries over there. Don't come empty-handed. You know what I'm saying? Never,
Yeah, this ain't
real
blunt
talk.
to me, man. Hey, but yeah, I'm not charging nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we have to, we gotta, you know, set certain type of standards. You know what I mean? And the way we deal with each other, no matter what we, you know what I'm saying? We deal with each other in a different way. Y'all follow me? We ain't gonna charge each other, you know, while we trying to build a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? But maybe somebody else, it would be a whole nother conversation when it comes to business. So yeah, so shout out to everybody, man, that's really sincere, man, and really doing this work. That's what it's really about. I don't care if you just found out yesterday and you gung ho and you want to teach. Fine. You know what I mean? I ain't that guy, man, to be. You know
Now,
what I
I'm
mean?
just
Trying to
saying,
get on
you know, for the
nobody else.
most part, though, you got brothers and sisters who that really, you know, who ain't working because of some of their views or whatever. And like I say, even with this YouTube shit, man, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you think my employee would like, I'm sitting up here talking about immigrants and shit, and I work around immigrants, and nigga tell me, oh, show your face and all that stuff. Man, serious? Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't, like I said, I ain't got nothing about being scared, but everything ain't for everybody. You ain't supposed to be out here putting certain information out there, especially if you still, like, you know what I'm saying, you got certain people, like, so I do my shit on the low. You know what I'm saying? I got to go about the way I go about it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, appreciate everybody come through. I appreciate y'all, man. I'll get some more research, get probably another video out this week or whatever. But for the most part, man, we just chilling, man. Like I said, subscribe to all Chief Holiday and his endeavors and all of the applications, as well as his YouTube channel or whatever. And from there, man, we out of here, man. Yeah, Phoenix Moon do got great information. Killer White Supremacy and Coon. Definitely, man. All y'all have a good night, man. Peace.
Hey, the killer, man. He be going in, man. He be going hard. And we always need those type of people, man, to keep everybody honest, man. So shout out to Killer.
No doubt. Peace, man. Appreciate you, Chief Holiday coming through, man. I'm about to end it. We out of here. Thanks everybody in the chat, all the viewers. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, those of you who can support, please support. You know, it is what it is, though. But with that being said, love and light to everyone, family. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, be safe, y'all. Peace.